Good morning, everybody. Buenos dias. Hope you're all doing well and looking forward to a good weekend. Find yourself in high spirits and looking good too. I haven't posted in a week because I've just been enjoying my week. And I feel like I kind of ran out of things to talk about, or I set a bar for myself with the father videos. I got a good reaction to that, and I was kind of proud of it. So it seemed anticlimactic to come with some mundane chatter, which is what I'm giving you today. So since the last time I posted, we had a 3-day weekend. The weekend went really well. I got a lot of yard work and gardening done. I kept a promise to my kid, which was to take her bike riding on the American River Bike Trail. It goes from downtown Sacramento to Folsom, 32 miles. Um, we drove, I put the bikes on the bike rack, and we drove over to the university, parked there, and then jumped on the trail from there going east because that's some of the more scenic parts of the trail. At times, you're like riding through these woods with the canopy over you. It's shaded. There's a river along the side. We saw quail. We saw 2 deer. We even parked and looked at the deer pretty close. I was worried it could attack us because I seen deers like sock foos up. But it was really pleasant, and I'm glad I did take her out there because I've been telling her for a long time that it's really nice. And the highlights for me was when I used to train for triathlons, I would use the bike trail sometimes at lunch. Sometimes I'd go in the morning and ride 100 miles. Like, I'd go all the way to the end and back, all the way to the end and back. Um, so I would see like a quail running with little baby quails. One time, this Bambi looking deer, like with the spots on it, the real white underbelly, ran alongside me for a good 5-6 seconds, and then I kind of hit the brakes because I was afraid it would cross in front of me and I'd hit it. Um, I seen little snakes. Um, it's just a lot of wildlife out there, and it's really, really scenic. If I go again this weekend, I'll take the camera and try to film it for you guys and show you that. So that was cool. Work was really good. Got a lot of assignments. I felt like I'd been put on a shelf. Like they were trying to teach me a lesson for being too vocal, and now I guess I've been on the shelf long enough because I'm starting to get more different kinds of assignments, and it's the kind that I like. So I've been busy with that, um, and then just watching the news, both real news and YouTube news. So in real news, I've been seeing the rhetoric against the immigrants like really ramping up. I've heard Trump talk about an executive order, which really is a constitutional thing regarding birthright citizenship. So, you know, he'd probably do it moving forward, but if somehow he found a way to be there for 8, 12 years, I'm sure he'd do it retroactively. Um, I saw protests in New York where there was a lot of actually black and brown folks really angry about immigrants. Um, I'll say that, here where I'm at, I live around a lot of immigrants, like a lot of immigrants. And my neighborhood, it used to mostly be white, but now it's, I would say, probably as diverse as like the most diverse neighborhoods in New York. I've seen places in New York win like most diverse neighborhood in the nation, but like I could walk out and look around and pretty much see someone of every ethnicity, like black, white, Asian. I got old Italians that are like, they're actually Sicilians that live on my street and don't even speak English. They look like Putin. They're hella buff for being hella old, and they just go out there and garden, but they look like some serious tough guys. Um, there's Indian folks, Arab folks, Polynesian folks, like just looking from my driveway, all those ethnicities, like it's almost like one person from every ethnicity is there with a few extra raza. We're the deepest, but it is very diverse. Um, and so I I don't even know where I was going with that. Oh, so I do see the rhetoric against immigrants, and it's, you know, people whose parents were probably immigrants, either brought here against their will or came willingly. Um, in other news, I saw that this artifact, it's called I think the monstro with the open mouth or something like that. It's a really like large artifact. I think the largest one that Mexico was missing, and it's an Olmec one, and a European country had it, and they're returning it. They gave it back to Mexico, so Mexico was really, really glad to get that thing back, that Olmec artifact, and so just, you know, that's some good news about the artifacts and keeping with some of the topics I'd been talking about. Also been talking about, you know, politics and the rhetoric against brown folks ramping up as we near the election. It'll be framed around immigrants, but it will extend to just brown folks in general. And a lot of brown folks will be the perpetrators of that discrimination as well. So either through the policies they support, the politicians they support, what have you. So, and then lastly, I have kind of followed YouTube, and I've seen there's been quite the implosion. I'll say that I kind of like stepped into the prison genre or what have you, like, you know, jumped on some chats and tried to share, you know, information I thought would be helpful to folks. And for the most part, it was productive with one who wasn't prison genre, more YA stories, and you know, he would do YA stories of people who were doing good already. They were stories of redemption, and and he, you know, to me is a sincere and genuine person. But with the rest of the genre, like I really stepped away when one of the teddy bears or the sweethearts of the genre put words in my mouth because he didn't like what I said. And I thought, man, if this is what the ones I think are cool would do simply when things don't go their way, this really ain't for me. And things that would amaze me would be people who'd been like in the roughest places saying, oh, you know, I was duped. And I'm like, man, you know, maybe street smarts are different than jail smarts because, you know, I saw this shit coming a mile away. That's why I never let myself get close. And so that kind of amazed me too, just the lack of street smarts. And I don't think it really, a part of me doesn't believe that, you know, folks really were duped. I think there was a vested interest there in a decision was made. I'm going to put this to the side to see if this works. And when it didn't, then my morals were embraced and yeah, I was duped. I think for the most part, folks had some sort of interest beyond just being chummy for doing the things they did. And it's been quite the novela to watch. That's for sure. And I'll leave it there, and I'll just say that Um, Man, it really makes me never want to go to jail because I would hate to be not having escape from those types of personalities, um, and characters and character defects all day, every day. I'd want to believe there's a there's an alternative, but if that's the representation what we see on YouTube, then um, man, I think what you're seeing play out on YouTube is what you would see play out on a yard. Maybe a low level yard, but that's what you would see playing out on a yard. Um, and so, from a sociological standpoint, it is it's interesting to watch. But I wouldn't want to live there. That I guess that's how you say. You know, when you travel places, you go, "Oh, it's fun to visit," but I wouldn't want to live there. That's uh that's the takeaway today from YouTube. It's fun to visit for a brief second. Wow, that's crazy. Oh my goodness. I kind of saw that coming. Wow. Oh, dang. Oh, shit. All right, man, I had enough. Time to go bike riding and see the little quails and the deers and the river running and and my kids happily riding bikes, talking about, damn, why didn't you bring me here before? This place is beautiful. So that's what the week's been like. I'll try to post at least twice a week, but I do see my activities outside of YouTube ramping up, and my determination to go to law school is still solidifying, growing. I'm already talking to people about getting letters of support that I would take to the admissions, and yeah, it's for me anyways. It's been good. The news around the election and the rhetoric to see who could be the toughest on immigrants is not good. You know, it's scary for me, and it's sad for me too because like I think of dreamers in them, and I'm like, man, they must be in terror at everything they're working for could just be upended like that, and so that's trying to empathize with them, and I'll say that, like, again, I live around a lot of immigrants, and I don't think I finished that thought earlier. And 2-minute drive, it's all immigrants, and a lot of them are I think refugees from Middle Eastern countries. And I'll say that by and large, they're good neighbors. I find them to be like all the immigrants they're like they're in the apartments together, the Raza and the Middle Easterns and the occasional Asian ones. I think they're good neighbors. I don't worry about them like committing crimes against me or my neighborhood. Um, I don't see them. I see them taking their kids to school. I see them spending time with them. I see them walking them. I see them going shopping, and they're polite. That they're like humble people that I like living, next to and around and interacting with, and like eating their foods, and I like them. I like them. So, and I pay taxes, so I don't trip off that. I don't get a refund. I got to pay taxes. Which means I need a better accountant. That's all that says. Anyways, have a good one.